Hey y'all, welcome back to Jay's Jeep and Classic Car channel. Today we are working on the starter. So it's starting to fail occasionally, starting just to spin free when we hit the starter, and so the writing's on the wall. It's I don't want it to fail when I need it, and so we're just going to go ahead and pull it off, take a look at it. We have to pull it off anyway because the freeze plug that's right behind it is leaking, so we're going to replace that while we have it out and pull that starter apart, replace anything that we need to replace, or just clean it up hopefully, and yeah, and see where we go from there. So come on, join me on the journey for today, and let's see what we get into. Alright, so everything, at least on my Jeep, is all 1/2 inch size nuts and bolts. So our 1/2 inch socket is going to get a lot of use today as we take this thing apart. Okay, so next up we're going to take this bottom bolt, at least loosen it up a bit. We'll let it sit on it just as a support, but we won't take it all the way out. I do have my fender off, so that does make it easier to get in here. And I also took the wheel and tire off, just to make it easier to get in here. It's not impossible if you do have it on. It just makes it a little harder. Alright, next up are these two babies. These are actually 9/16 back here. Trying to break this one. That one comes out pretty easy. This one, however, may be a little more difficult. There we go. Alright, there we go. It's rolling now. This is the moment in the show where Jay doesn't really know what he's doing, and so we're just going to wing it here. I need to take this out. This needs to come out, I guess. Alright, let me take this out, which will take that out, and I should be able to slide this backwards. Let's see what we can do. Alright, so we took that out, and now back to the part where Jay doesn't know what he's doing. There you go. Alright. There we go. It's out. Alright, so we got it all cleaned up. Well, at least somewhat. But anyway, you can see the old patch. I tried to patch that plug, and it just didn't work real well. So we're going to take that patch out of there. We're probably just going to put a little primer in here as well, just to keep it from rusting up too bad or anything like that, and try to get that plug out. So I'm just going to pry away at this little patch stuff. It's going to come out pretty easy. As you can see, it pops off pretty good. Okay, so we got the patch off, and poked a hole at it, and there's obviously water behind it. Alright, so I've never really taken one of these out before, so we are just experimenting at this point. So I will say this, that I believe it's going to be a battle, but what's new? Everything's a battle. So, I mean, this thing's just so thin right here in the middle. It's just rusted in there. Yeah. Alright, so we got a hole big enough to get this thing in there. It's just like a pry bar that I got, and there we go. Finally we got it out. I wasn't sure we were going to get it out, but that don't look healthy there. we're gonna clean all that out and see what's going on and all that. Hopefully we ain't rusted anything through, but that is my concern, is that we may have rusted through something. That's just mud coming out of there. That's not good. There it is. It's still draining. Pretty yucky. I'm about to vacuum it out and see if I can't get the rest of that junk out of there. Well, that's how much water was in there. We got a good suction going and got her flowing pretty good. Okay, so we flushed that out with water, both spraying in and also through the radiator, and tried to flush it out real well. And so we're just going to let it dry for a little bit. Alright, so it's the next day, and I rebuilt the starter last night. Not really rebuilt it, I took it apart and cleaned it, and so we'll put it back on today, hopefully, Lord willing, and see if it works. But first things first, we got to put this freeze plug in. So here it is. Alright, so we're going to put it up like that, and then we're going to take a 3/4 socket and now kind of beat it into place. Now we're going to take a 13/16. Alright, so it's in there, hopefully that will hold. Alright, so we're going to attempt to put the starter in. Something like that. Alright, so we decided just to clean out that hole a little bit before we put the starter in. And so I just put a 3/8 tap in there. And these just ratcheting wrenches are pretty handy for that. 5/16 fit really well. And so I'm just cleaning out all the dirt, gunk, and whatever else that's up in there. I'm getting good clean threads for putting that starter back in. Alright, so we got those holes cleaned out. Now it's time to put that starter back in. So we're going to try to get it lined up. So, I'd really wanted to put new hardware in, but I'm out of hardware right now. So, I have to reuse it at this point. There it is. Alright, it's started. We're going to tighten those up and go from there. Next up, we got to put the starter cable to the starter, I guess. So we kind of got that hooked out. And we're going to tighten that down. Alright, it's time to test it out. Let's see if it spins or not. Y'all will see it before I do, so let me know. Well, it spun, which is good news because I was afraid that bad boy wasn't going to work at all. So That's good news. I can't say the performance was any particularly better, but at least it works after cleaning it up. So anyway, we'll just have to kind of watch it and see what it does in the future. Hopefully it works better than it did. But all indications are it's about the same, which I kind of expected. But with that, we'll put the bottom bracket on, we'll put that band around it, and then we'll button her up for the night. But anyway, I appreciate y'all watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe and like button, and y'all take care. It's time for supper.